What brings you to Lima?
The weather. No.
Well, that's why you leave California, isn't it?
No.
Get some cold weather for a
Yeah,
change.
Actually, my wife is a teacher, and we decided more than a year ago that we're going to participate in this campaign. And so my wife took the year off. I'm retired, and so I retired at the same time to do this. And so we've given up our year so we could work on this.
Exactly. Wow. And why did you pick this place?
All you got to do is look at the last two elections. Did you look at the last two
Yes.
elections? Okay. Anyway, so
This county especially.
well, Ohio is flippy. This county is flippy and was the county that's possible. If you've watched any of the electoral guesses, you realize that this state, we arrived here the day after Labor Day, and the state of Ohio went from being reddish, pinkish to whitish, and now bluish, and we did it.
You really think it's going to be a blue?
By ourselves. No. Oh, it's blue now. It's blue.
Yeah.
Have you
think
looked at the
it'll
numbers
stay?
lately?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
it's
yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to stay, and unless the stock market, goes up several thousand points and the economy stabilized, we have no problem.
Why?
Wow. Don't say that.
Well, that's what they're saying. You don't want to make
Oh,
it
you
too
gotta, you
obvious.
said be positive, and now you're all of a sudden turning cynical. No, you don't get her. She works here.
Right.
I'm not paid, so the only thing you can do volunteers is kill them. You can't fire them.
Okay. Well, you work for her.
Wow.
I'm a
Is that
volunteer.
right? Is that kind of? No? Okay. How do you think things are going to change if he is elected?
Well, we got a big hole to dig our way out of, so whatever change is going to happen is not going to be rapid, and it's not going to happen in one term either. I know we're a consumer society that says, look out for me. Where's my yard sign? Where's my goodies? Where's my Social Security? Where's my benefits? But the hole's too big.
You think we've been taking too much for too long?
Well, yep. We've got the national debt. We've got, what do we produce here? What do we make here? What do you have on? Where did your shoes come from? Where did your pants come from? Even Levi's are made overseas, right?
Right.
So what are we producing? And what does Wall Street produce? They shift money. Bling, 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 right?
Yep.
And it's out. Isn't it interesting that capital gains taxes are lower than income tax? Isn't it interesting that you can make more money shuffling paper and gambling than you can working?
Right.
But,
Do you think that's going to change?
no. Some of it will change. Some of it will change. But our internationally, what we look to the world is a place that attacks countries without the country having necessarily done anything to us, that redefines torture, that borrows all the money that it operates on from other countries such as China, which owns us. I hope they don't take my house. I kind of like it.
In California.
Yeah, it's a nice house, really. I mean, it's not that bad, but
Where do you
But
live?
I'd like to keep it.
Where is it?
Bakersfield. It's a very red Republican area.
Yes, it
Redder
is.
than here. So
Why didn't you stay there? Well, because you knew California would go.
California's not flippy. California is blue. I could even not vote there, and it wouldn't have affected it.
Yeah.
I'm a
What
retired
would
college
you-
professor
Oh,
other
are you?
times. Yeah.
What did you do?
Taught critical thinking the last few years, but sociology was my major area.
Critical thinking.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Wow. There's not enough of that in this country.
Is there any lately?
Sometimes there is, right?
Yeah. Abby.
How do you teach that, though?
Oh, it's
What's the first thing you tell people on that first day of class?
actually the first day of class. At most universities, there's someone trying to sell students something. For example, cell phones or credit card. And so what I do in those cases is I divide the class up into groups, and their task is to decide, number one, let's say the credit card. Should they get a credit card? What is my criteria for making a selection? So yes or no, should I get a credit card? Then once I say, okay, let's assume that we are going to get a credit card. What criteria you would use by which credit card company you would select. So then it causes them to look more analytically at the kind of decisions they make in everyday life. I have them read newspapers, and we talk about articles in terms of the, well, what I call the mass media approach, which would be your approach to a scientific approach in an article. So what's the difference? What's the validity of those different qualities, and how can we judge those? I mean, anyway.
How critical should you think, though? You know, I mean, I think you could take it to a point where, you know,
Well,
maybe you get so
Now you're
critical
talking.
you're cynical.
Now you're sounding like an astrologer, and
I
Libras.
know, I mean, but
Libras are those people who constantly weigh back and forth to the point that they never can make a decision.
I'm a Libra too.
Right. There's a Libra right there. And guess what? I'm a Libra.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, you have to make a decision. And ultimately, there's only so much data you can go through. And ultimately, it's not really unrealistic to look to others around you. People say people are easily led. Well, we cannot possibly know everything. So what do? We look at the people around us. We look at things we have confidence in. We listen to radio stations, television stations that we have confidence in. And so my goal as a critical thinking teacher is to teach them how to evaluate credibility to judge which ones are good or bad. I mean, MSNBC's got its biases, Fox has its biases, everybody, every station has biases, so the question is, what are those biases, and are they in the direction in which I want them to be? Like,
Can
for
you still be
example,
a critical thinker and just watch MSNBC, though?
I didn't say don't watch them.
No, but I'm saying watch them, but shouldn't you watch Fox as well?
Yeah.
To be
You should
to
watch
critically
both.
think,
You
yeah.
should- and you should listen to Rush if you can stand him. And teach students to just evaluate simple language, rhetoric. Like, for example, George Bush destroyed our national economy. George Bush destroyed our image in the world. Time for a change.